Breaking news coming in at this hour. A bomb threat was reported at the residence of actor and TVK chief Vijay early this morning. Immediately after investigation, police have now arrested the caller who made this call. As per the cops, the accused has been identified as a daily wager who has confessed to have done it in a drunk state. Now, according to police sources, a phone call was received at the police control room around 2 a.m. claiming that a bomb has been planted at TVK chief and actor Vijay's residence. The picture on your screens right now, apart from TVK chief actor Vijay, is the photo of the accused who has been arrested by the cops in relation to a bomb threat that was sent to TVK chief's house. My colleague Sam Daniel is joining me for more details. Sam, do highlight about the role of this accused and how he was apprehended.
Well, police say his name is Shabik, who works as a daily wager at a tea stall in the Pallavaram area of Chennai. And police, after the bomb threat was received, they tracked him, and then police say has confessed to have made that bomb threat in a drunken state, and he has told the police that while he was watching reels about what happened in the stampede in Karur recently during the TVK chief actor Vijay's rally, he didn't want him to come outside in this condition, and it's in that context he has told the police that he had made the bomb call to stop Vijay from coming out. But this is the third such incident in the recent past that Vijay's home has received such hoax calls or mails on bomb threats, and in this case police have arrested him. Investigation is underway.
Right, thank you so much Sam Daniel for joining me with this detail. And more breaking news coming in at this hour. YSRCP MP PV Midhun Reddy has written to Union Home Minister Amit Shah seeking urgent central investigation and intervention to curb the manufacture and circulation of spurious liquor in Andhra Pradesh. He stated that the racket has grown into a large-scale organized interstate crime and can no longer be treated as a local law and order issue. In this letter that I have on your screens for you guys, this is the Andhra liquor scam probe that has now reached to the centre, with YSRCP MP demanding that a CBI probe should be done in the matter. And in that relation, YSRCP MP has written a letter to Union Home Minister Amit Shah demanding that the CBI must probe the Andhra liquor scam. Midhun Reddy has also warned that fake liquor made with toxic chemicals like methanol is endangering human lives. Several incidents of poisoning and deaths have been reported in Andhra Pradesh and neighbouring states. He noted, adding that the poorest consumers are the worst victims as they are misled by counterfeit bottles sold under the labels of reputed brands. My colleague Uma is also joining me with more details. Uma ma'am, do tell us about the need for a CBI investigation in the Andhra liquor scam.
So the irony of YSRCP MP Midhun Reddy, in fact, demanding the CBI probe, is that he himself is an accused in the so-called liquor scam case, or the AP liquor scam case as it has come to be known, that has been filed by the Chandrababu Naidu government, and they have alleged a 3,200 crore rupee scam during the time that Jagan Mohan Reddy was Chief Minister between 2019 and 2024. Midhun Reddy himself was arrested in July of this year, and he is out on bail after spending 71 days inside jail. And he is in fact now writing to the Union Home Minister, and he is pointing to a recent incident that happened in his own constituency, Mulakala Cheruvu, and also in Ibrahimapatnam. And he says that there is a huge spurious liquor operation, and that he says that there is the association of ruling party leaders as well. And therefore, since it is a very politically sensitive issue, and as you mentioned, multiple states, organized crime, and that IMFL, India-made foreign liquor, is being packaged in a illegal manner, therefore cheating the poorest of the people and leading to health issues and to deaths as well. So that is the reason why Midhun Reddy says that CBI probe is now required in this particular case.
Right. Thank you so much, Uma ma'am, for joining us with that news break. And more breaking news coming in. The suicide of Haryana's IPS officer Y. Puran Kumar is a symbol of that deepening social poison which is crushing humanity in the name of caste. This is what leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi has posted on the demise of the IPS officer. Remember, he has also written a suicide note which has been recovered by the cops. And in Sector 11 in Chandigarh, his body was found. In the letter, in the suicide note, the officer has mentioned that he had also accused the senior officers of mental harassment and others. An 8-page note was recovered after his suicide. Now, leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi is blaming it on the social justice system. He says that this is the BJP RSS ideology which is crushing humanity as it's spewing venom in the society. And he also goes on to say that when an IPS officer has to endure humiliation and oppression because of his caste, then imagine in what condition an ordinary Dalit citizen must be living. Meanwhile, the probe in the entire matter is escalating, with the cops now registering a case after the suicide note was found. An abetment to suicide case has been registered in the matter, and the cops will be probing all the named officers who were named by this IPS officer in his suicide note. My colleague Gurpreet Chinna is also joining. Gurpreet, we are seeing that the politics is escalating over the matter, but first give us the latest detail in the probe.
We have seen the Chandigarh police, they had recovered a suicide note near the body when this IPS officer had committed suicide by shooting himself with the revolver. Now we have seen the probe was already underway, and his wife had already given a detailed complaint against the officers who are serving in Haryana, specifically DGP Haryana as well as SP of Rohtak, because she alleged in the complaint saying that these people are trying to implicate him in the false cases. That could be possible reason why he was under tremendous mental pressure when he had taken this extreme step. But now what we have learned from the Chandigarh police officer, the top police officer, talked to NDTV, they confirmed FIR on the charges of abetment to suicide as well as SC/ST Act has already been invoked in the FIR, and the case has been registered against all the accused who were being mentioned in the suicide note. So let's see how the investigation will be taken place and how the investigation will be unfolded in the coming days. Back to studio.
Thank you so much, Gurpreet, for joining us with those details. Prime Minister Narendra Modi raised the Khalistani extremism with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. This was while responding to a question on Khalistani extremism by NDTV. The Foreign Secretary said that it was a subject that had come up in the discussion in July. It was flagged again during the discussion held today, and the Prime Minister emphasized that radicalism and violent extremism had no space in democratic societies, and in particular should not be allowed to abuse the freedoms provided by democratic societies, and there was need to move against them within the legal frameworks that are available to both sides. The Prime Minister also expressed his deepest sympathies once again and his condolences at the Manchester attack, the attack that took place against a synagogue a few days ago in the UK.
From NDTV. Sir, during the Prime Minister's visit to the United Kingdom, I think the issue of Khalistani extremists came up, and that was mentioned in the briefing. Did it come up during this visit in the talks?
Yes, it is a subject that had come up in the discussions in July. It was flagged again during the discussions held today, and Prime Minister emphasized that radicalism and violent extremism had no space in democratic societies, and in particular should not be allowed to use the freedoms or abuse the freedoms provided by democratic societies, and there was need to move against them within the legal frameworks that are available to both sides. The Prime Minister also expressed his deepest sympathies once again and his condolences at the Manchester attack, the attack that took place against a synagogue a few days ago in the UK.
Absolutely. While there is, of course, a lot of areas where India and the United Kingdom can, of course, take that partnership forward. We've already seen the agreement when it comes to free trade. All of that is already in place. In fact, the prime ministers spoke today in detail. There was an air of camaraderie, definitely, with prime minister tweeting photos, with Keir in that car as well. But there are certain hard conversations also, and India, of course, has concerns when it comes to extremism, when it comes to secessionist thought that is against India, and that is something that what the Foreign Secretary also responded when he was asked if this issue had been, on the agenda, on the discussion, and he gave a very clear answer that yes, it had come up in July when the Prime Minister had visited the United Kingdom, and of course now also in this particular talks, the bilateral talks that the two prime ministers held, this was raised, and the Prime Minister's clear message on this was also delivered to none other than the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
After the arrest of G. Ranganathan, the owner of Tamil Nadu-based Strescent Pharmaceuticals, the Madhya Pradesh cops have now received the transit remand of Ranganathan. Tamil Nadu syrup factory to be shut down, and the samples were found to be toxic after the centre's probe. And with that, we are shifting our focus to a break, but news and updates continue on the other side. So don't go anywhere. Keep watching NDTV. After US President Donald Trump announced that Israel and Hamas have agreed to the first phase of his 20-point peace plan, the Israeli Security Cabinet is meeting to vote plan, to be followed by a full cabinet vote. The deal between Israel and Hamas would allow for the release of all hostages in Gaza, Israeli withdrawal to an agreed point, and the release of some Palestinian prisoners. Meanwhile, PM Modi spoke with both US President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, congratulating both leaders for the truce deal. In fact, Prime Minister Netanyahu paused the Security Cabinet meeting to speak with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. President Donald Trump, in his cabinet meeting, has said that the remaining hostages should be released on Monday or Tuesday. Listen in to what the Israeli government and Trump had to say about the deal.
At 5 p.m. Israel time, there will be a cabinet meeting, and at 6 p.m. Israel time, there will be a government meeting taking place. Now, within 24 hours after the cabinet meeting takes place, a ceasefire will then begin in Gaza. The IDF will then redeploy to the yellow line as shown on maps, which have been widely distributed at this point in time. And now, after this 24-hour period, the 72-hour time window will then begin, where all of our hostages will be released back into Israel.
Bigger basis created peace, and I think it's going to be a lasting peace, hopefully an everlasting peace. Peace in the Middle East. We secured the release of all of the remaining hostages, and they should be released on Monday or Tuesday. Getting them is a complicated process. I'd rather not tell you what they have to do to get them. There are places you don't want to be, but we are getting the hostages back on Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, and that'll be a day of joy. I'm going to try and make a trip over. We're going to try and get over there, and we're working on the timing, the exact timing. We're going to go to Egypt, where we'll have a signing, an additional signing. We've already had a signing representing me, but we're going to have an official signing.
Now, my colleague Disha Bakshi is joining me from the newsroom. Disha, keeping the track record of Israel and Hamas in mind, why is it important for both sides to respect this peace plan?
See, this is a significant moment, and this peace plan has been quite different from the previous ones. And the previous peace plan, where again the first phase of the truce was agreed upon, after which the deal broke down. There were deadlines set for each phase. this time around, there's no set deadline. There is certain periods where there's a 72-hour deadline for Hamas to let the hostages go, after which the talks will continue. But there is no deadline as to when the truce can fall apart and the war can again re-begin. So it really, people are saying that this kind of language is what has made both Israel and Hamas really agree to this deal, and which is why there's some sort of optimism. But it's again cautious optimism. Now the Israeli government is voting to pass this plan and they are set to approve it. There is no there's nothing about it not being approved. But now US President Donald Trump will also be going to Israel and visiting the Middle East. It's unsure as to which countries he will go to, but Israel definitely, where he's going to speak to the Israeli parliament as well. So really this kind of signaling is positive, but we have to remain cautious because it's not the first time we've been here. We've had these kind of truce deals being reached by the first phase, and there's been a hostage exchange, after which the deal has fallen apart. So we really have to wait and watch to see how talks progress, and whether we actually reach the other phases where there's going to be more talk about disarmament of Hamas, the future governance of Gaza, because those points, those sticking issues have not been addressed as of yet.
Right. Thank you so much, Disha, for giving us those details. And it will be essential to see if both sides agree and keep this peace plan in play.